Luttsy and Susie O'Neill. The best bits.
I'm lecturing today at uni. I'm a lecturer.
What?
I'm lecturing at uni.
What uni?
University of Southern Queensland.
Should know that.
It's at Springfield.
Yeah.
I've lectured.
USQ.
Yeah, I've uni. Is it? No, it says. Anyway, yeah, whatever. One of those. I've lectured before at UQ in Olympics in sport, but this is my first lecture on radio. I'm giving a lecture on radio, guys. So I want to get some tips from you.
Who's who?
So Spencer Howson is the lecturer there. So Spencer used to be on ABC Radio.
Yeah.
And he is radio production. It's the School of Creative Arts.
Is this AFTRS? No?
What's
What's AFTRS?
AFTRS?
Australian Film and Television.
Radio, television.
No, I don't think so. This is just the University of Southern Queensland School of
USQ.
Creative Arts, radio production. I'm going to speak to the first and second year classes all about how to be on the radio.
So you lecture, that's a script. You need notes and stuff.
Yeah, you got a whiteboard, notes,
Oh, I've got to check.
PowerPoint presentation.
yes.
You need a twill jacket with some patches on the elbows missing.
Make an example of someone early. That way you'll
Yep.
get their attention.
I'll go in hard.
Get
Like
out.
pick some kid, send him straight out. Oi, bugger lugs,
If they're talking.
take a walk.
Hopefully it's better than when you're talking to school kids. You know, because you've done it recently, haven't you, Luttsy? School kids don't listen at all.
No. When
They lose their
attention span.
attention span really quickly. Actually, they did a test with school kids, how long you keep your attention span for, because they teach them now how to study. You know how long they can keep their attention span for, school
long?
kids?
How long?
90 seconds
What?
Yeah.
until they start thinking about other things.
Yeah.
I
It's
get
like
that.
it's really hard to keep their attention.
See, these kids are paying for your day too, so you'd hope that their attention span's a little longer because they're paying for the privilege.
Experience.
They're paying for the privilege. I
I'm looking forward to going. Actually, it's going to be a Q&A. So
was going to
Spence-
say, so you're not writing
No,
okay.
no,
Okay.
No, so Spencer's just going to ask me questions.
Well, what's your advice going to be? Give us the
My advice?
skinny.
How do I?
Okay.
Okay. First question.
Yes, Luttsy.
Yeah.
How do I when I leave this fantastic learning institution? How do I get into radio? That's the end of the question. Adam.
I was at the end.
Yeah.
You just know the right people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You get
I'm
a lucky break.
I'm a first year university student. I
Yeah.
don't know anyone.
No, you know what I'd say? Actually, what advice I would give? I'd say don't try and be someone else. Try and be yourself. Or don't just be yourself. And when you sit down, when you start speaking, talk like you're talking to your friends at a cafe. Although sometimes I look around at you guys and think there's no way I want to talk to you with how I would talk to my friends.
Is this part of what you're saying today? Or?
No, this is just now when I'm talking.
Oh, now with us.
Yeah, like sometimes I want to talk about really deep things or things about my feelings, and I look up and see you three,
Not the team.
and I think, no one's receptive to this. But
Any of you kids like sport?
yeah, but no. And you got any advice? And you guys have been on radio longer than me, so you might have some advice.
We didn't get asked, did we? So I'm not going to give you a leg.
Oh, really?
Lots of charges for that sort of information.
yeah.
Do you charge
That's
for
big
that?
money for me. I just can't be giving away free seminars on this show, can I?
Yeah.
No.
How long is your Q&A for?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 45 minutes. I'll work it out before. I'm meeting Spencer at 1 o'clock before for lunch, so we'll talk about it first.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say, I don't know, I've done these before actually, and it is difficult. I know that, and we joked about it off air.
I
know
like
that I got it.
rehearsals. You're right. This is hard doing it like
Yeah.
this now because you don't care right now. You wait till the moment, then your brain will click in.
Yeah, type thing. But I do, and you joked about it off air, but I do realise I had a different entry into radio than most people,
Yeah, because
obviously.
the answer would be just get an Olympic gold medal.
Yes, I know, waiting for it.
Then a bunch of sponsorships, and then the world's your oyster
Yeah.
is the easy option. Well, not the easy option, but it's the option
Yeah.
you were lucky enough to take.
But I'd probably say do free work for radio stations or do free work for things.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way
Foot
of
the
doing
door's
it.
so important.
Make connections.
Yeah.
A
Work
bit like
on your
Tom.
craft.
Do you remember when Tom Brady spoke to us? He was the NFL footballer. I don't know if you were there, Buzz. He gave a speech. Basically, be ready for your opportunity. So he wasn't in the starting lineup for the NFL,
Yes,
remember? But he was
yes.
always ready. And when he got a 1 minute chance, he gave it 100%. And then
Yeah.
it gradually
Yeah.
blew out to 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So I suppose I'd say if you ever got a break, even if like you rang up as a prize winner or anything on the radio, if you can be 100%,
Yeah.
you know, to take it
Or,
seriously.
for instance, if you're on the street team here,
yeah.
ready to pounce if there's an opportunity in a radio sense.
Yeah, and every job teaches you new skills. Like I know some people in the street teamers here, it's not an easy job. I would not I would not want to do it actually, but it teaches you so much about how to deal with the public and make things fun and try and engage people in what you're doing. I think that is a really good place to learn.
Yeah, street team. It's a good start.
And we
radio.
all have different approaches. I did radio for free. You got the Olympic gold medal. He just pretty much, his way to the top. But I mean, there's different ways. Ash, and there's nothing wrong with that, mate.
Got to do what you got to do. Is what it is, isn't it?
Why don't you take us to the break with a tease? What's coming up next, Suze? That's classic radio 101.
Yeah, always tease.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, next Ash has got an amazing story about something that's coming up in his life. It's not missed.
Ash, Luttsy and Susie O'Neill. The best bits.
Now, for the married people here, which there's 3 of us here.
Here, present.
Present, Mitch.
Present.
But even if you've got I assume this works even if you've got a partner that you live with.
Present.
Yes. As well as...
We know you've got everything.
Yes.
I'm looking at Luttsy because I'm trying to make him feel left out. But
Well, it's working.
Well, do you kiss your husband or wife goodbye of a morning when you leave to go to work?
I don't know.
depends if they're awake and.
If Sarah was awake, I would, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she's asleep, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Wake,
Yeah, I generally do. A peck.
Same here.
Like
That's my routine. Is get up, then just as I'm leaving, I go back, just give Joe a quick kiss and go. And yesterday I didn't. I was just like I don't know. I just didn't do it. And she rang me, and at the end of the thing, she goes, "Oh, you didn't kiss me goodbye this morning." And she goes, "There's a study that says that if you kiss your wife, because this was a study that was done just on husbands with wives, but that the study found." This is what Jode said, that husbands who kiss their wives goodbye of a morning live on average 4 years longer.
Really?
4 years longer than those who don't, and they're more successful. Mm-hmm. And I was like, come on. Was
this a longitudinal study? As in...
What's that mean?
That means that they do it in real time and that they work out, you're not going to kiss your partner. You die. You die before the study's over. Like, how do they work?
Oh, so it's a 40-year study. You mean?
40-year study, and they start dropping off the ones.
I think it was a 12-year study.
Yeah.
And, and it found that...
there's real people involved in this study.
Yeah. And a 10-year German study. So, it found that men who kiss their wives tend to live longer and that they're more successful as well. Mm. And, the study found that there was a lingering impact of men who kiss their wives goodbye and blah, blah, blah. It goes on. But it made me, because then this morning I did kiss Joe goodbye.
Yeah.
I was like, another 4 years in the bank, I'll take that.
Purely for that reason, you kissed her goodbye.
Yeah, but it says, so they studied all these managers, and they found out that those who kissed their wives before leaving for work saw an increase in their pay and in their management positions during the course of the study, and that they're saying that conversely, men who did not kiss their wives daily tended to have more negative attitudes at their work and were more moody, depressed and disinterested in their work.
That's funny.
It's a dangerous sort of
area.
Experiment these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's suggesting that,
Yes.
women are just lazy lying in bed while the men go to work.
Oh, yeah. True.
I can't believe you didn't pick up on that.
No, I started thinking about I saw a study the other day about getting home from work kissing, but it was a certain amount of time. You had to kiss for like 6 seconds. And who kisses for 6 seconds? 1.
I do over the course of a year.
3.
Ash, Luttsy and Susie O'Neill. The best bits.
Buzz just told me he's never seen The Castle, the movie.
I might have watched it when I was at school, but I do not recall anything about that movie.
Dale dug a hole.
I've heard people quote it, but I couldn't tell you one thing about that.
Is Mitch here? Because what year did that come out? Or just
97, I reckon.
97.
Someone Google.
Well, Alicia hasn't seen it either, our producer, but she's not from Australia, so that's okay. It's classic Australian, Alicia. It's like classic Australian because...
97, yeah.
97. My parents did something yesterday that so reminded me
Dug a
of
hole.
The Castle. And what about, and they used to
Served
always
Lamington for dinner. What do you call
buy
this?
stuff.
What do you call this, Dale?
And remember
Ice
that
cream.
They were buying stuff all the time off trading posts.
Trading
wasn't it?
post, yeah.
And then what do they want for that? Whatever.
Yes.
Tell him he's dreaming.
Yeah, tell him he's dreaming.
Yeah. Jousting sticks.
Yeah.
It was
What are you
jousting.
going to do with them, darling?
Yeah, it was so funny. No,
Eric Barner was in that too.
yes,
God, that was a fun.
and Sophie Lee. Sophie, no, what's her name?
Yeah, Sophie Lee.
Yeah,
was
Sophie
it?
Lee.
Sophie Lee, yeah.
I think that was her name.
This is going straight to the pool room.
That's probably one of the
Yes.
most used ones these days,
And
isn't it?
hadn't they just got back from Bali or something? And they just got, and the culture.
Yeah, that's
The
right. yeah.
culture.
Eric Banner was married
Yes.
to Sophie Lee.
Yes.
Yes.
All the characters.
And
And
he
they
was-
just come back from Bali.
Yeah.
And he was into kickboxing.
Yeah, he was-
remember? He had a kickboxing,
Kickboxing bag.
and he used to go kickboxing.
Round-
I remember
It's
watching that
so
for the first time. I
Australian.
was in the cinema, and it took like about 20 minutes for it to kick in that
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
actually was,
Understand.
and then God, that was funny. That
Well, there's a scene from that when they get back from Bali as well, and they're talking about the food on the plane. Do you remember that? I won't.
were they raving about how
Yeah,
good it was? Yeah.
and I won't play the quote yet because that's the bit that reminded me of the castle yesterday. So my mum had a pretty serious thing a procedure done at the hospital yesterday, and I rang her and Dad up to see how it went, and literally they hardly even answered before they started getting onto the food. Don't you reckon parents do that? His mum was like, I was like, how was the procedure, Mum? She's like, it was fine, but I wasn't happy with my sandwich I got after it. She goes, I ordered the turkey and cranberry, but it came with cheese. And I said, did you get a cappuccino, Mum? Because, if you've had a procedure at the hospital, you get like a sandwiches and a little cappuccino at the end, like if you have a colonoscopy or something.
Right.
She goes, no, I decided on the flat white, but it wasn't up to standard either. But then in the background, Dad's going, who was waiting at a cafe while she was getting the procedure done. I had the best muffin I've ever had. And I was like, I'm just laughing.
The procedure could have been a complete flop, but that wouldn't have mattered. It was
No.
more about the sandwiches.
With food. And Dad's like, I didn't even ask him. It was an apple and cinnamon. And then I said to
Everything
him,
comes back to food.
it does. And then
And there's no way that they're making the best apple and cinnamon things at a hospital, the best he's ever had.
I know.
Doesn't it? Must have been.
I don't know.
Must
It
be
must
really
become
hungry.
the highlight of the day.
Yeah,
or
something for some
Yeah.
reason. Food at good,
It reminds me of my granny. She used to do all these trips with the nursing home. She'd go up and down, like she'd go. They do these god awful road trips. Like they go,
Chuck 'em in
we're
a
gonna
bus.
Go to here, to one little town to another, and she'd be away for 3 days, and you'd be like, well, how was Warwick? Warwick, we had apple pie, and they had curried sausages. Oh yeah, what was Gimpy? Gimpy, it was shepherd's pie.
Yeah, it all comes back to food. And I said to Dad, they've had his muffin, the best muffin he's ever had. I said, did you get it heated or have it cold, Dad? Because Cliff and I always have arguments about heating our muffins. Anyway, that's not a metaphor.
Isolate it. Yeah.
That's so a metaphor.
Does Cliff like it hot?
Of course he does.
And Dad's like, no, I didn't get it heated because you see in the news that some cafes are charging $1 to heat your muffins. Have you seen that?
I did see that in the news
It
yesterday.
was a big story yesterday. And Dad's like, yeah, it was a big story yesterday, so I didn't want to get it heated in case it cost me an extra $1. Oh, God. Anyway, it reminded me so much. I'm going to play the castle thing. In my mind, the castle scene when they come back and talking about the food on the aeroplane, they've just been to Bali and they get into a conversation about what they got on the plane. In my mind, it went for ages, but it's actually just a really short grab.
Oh, Mum, we had a choice between fish and beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington?
What's that, Dale?
It's beef done in pastry.
So interesting.
I'm sure it was more
was
than
longer
that.
than
It was
that.
longer than that, surely. It was Eric Banner and Sophie Lee. Oh, God, that was funny, that movie. You got to watch it, The Castle.
And somehow it's like a lot of Aussie movies. I feel like it's when they go that sort of real over the top
Aussie.
sort of Aussie shtick thing. It's too much. For some reason in The Castle, it just works.
Got it right.
But-
But Buzz, mate, if you watch that film, like from your generation, and you don't, like, I'll be
Actually,
I will
yes.
be amazed. There's a part of me that envies you that you haven't watched it because you get to watch it for the first time again.
I won't be watching it.
Why not?
Watch it.
What?
You got to watch
I
it.
got
It's a
no-
classic Australian film.
Nah, not interested.
Have a couple of beers.
Really? Maybe we
Yeah.
should put
Friday
a
night.
castle thing on for the show for people who haven't heard
That'd be pretty cool.
or haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
If we get a cinema gold
Cinema,
class.
gold class. And
I'm
serve.
gonna, you reckon your kids have seen it? I'm gonna ring.
We showed
I'm-
them. We showed them it.
I don't know that my kids
There's
have
no way
seen
We
it.
made them watch it.
Ash, Luttsy and Susie O'Neill. The best bits.
The castle is classic. Like, have you got one of the quotes there to remind people?
Dad?
Yeah.
Some guy's selling an overhead projector.
Nah. Now, hang on, Steve. What's he asking?
150.
Tell him he's dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, you've got 4 kids and you bought them the Castle DVD, did you, for Christmas?
I did, and it's the greatest gift I've ever bought. And I suggest, Buzz, you go out this morning and get yourself down to JB Hi-Fi for $12. It'll change your life.
I don't actually own a DVD player. if I'm being honest.
Oh, my
So I'll have to
goodness.
get a
12 big ones. 12 big
streaming
ones to hear
service.
my
They're
kids walk
dreaming.
around the kitchen and say, what do you call this? Ice cream. But it's what you do with it. Scoop it out of the tub.
I got that quote here.
Oh, hello. How's this, boys? Woohoo! What do you call this?
Chicken.
Yeah, but it's got something sprinkled on it.
Seasoning.
Seasoning. Looks like everybody's kicked a goal.
So I don't remember what. So this was 97. I reckon either 97 or 98. Brisbane hosted the Davis Cup. I think we played Russia or something. And,
Marriott South.
and Pat Rafter, Leighton Hewitt, all that. And they had an after party at Adrenaline Sports Bar.
Oh, yes.
And you were there?
No, I'm said, I'm just remembering Adrenaline Sports
Michael
Bar.
Caton, who's Daryl Kerrigan, the dad. He was so famous at that point. We're at a sports bar in Brisbane on Charlotte Street, a massive sports bar. He was crowd surfing. Like,
Was he?
it must have been a year after the movie came out. I was like, that's Michael Caton crowd. Like, him and Pat Rafter were above him.
Wow.
That's
he was
how
old.
big the castle
and he was.
was.
Michael Caton was the dad, wasn't
Yeah,
he? So he was.
he's on ads at the moment. He's on that Kit Kat ad where the two of them sit outside and they have a fight over who's doing the spell. He's like the old
A wizard.
wizard.
Yeah.
And remember, who was the wife? Because she was in A Country Practice.
Oh, yeah, Molly.
She was Molly.
Her name was
Molly.
Antenny.
Antenny.
I
yes.
forgot about that.
Sal Kerrigan.
Yeah. Classic.
What do we got? Christine, Eden's Landing. So you've never watched it?
No, I haven't.
You're in your 40s.
Yeah. are you?
I'm 43 and I've never watched it.
You're right in the wheelhouse.
Why didn't you watch it?
Yeah. I just no real interest, and probably has never popped up and been brought to my attention. So I might have to go watch it now.
Is it on a streaming service, Mitch?
Yeah, it's on Stan.
It's
Yeah.
on. It's on Stan, is it? Oh, give it a go.
Perfect.
Yeah, see if you can watch it. See if it
worth
holds
having
up.
a
I
look
mean,
at.
either way you slice and dice it, it's like it is a classic Australian film. You ever seen Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah.
You have?
Yep.
Did you enjoy that?
So again, I was young when I watched it. So these are all a bit before. You know what I mean? I might have been early teens and maybe not the sort of movie that I'd want to watch
So I
at that
reckon
time of my life.
Crocodile Dundee must have been about 87, and then The Castle, it was 97. So it was like, but
Yeah.
it was like,
It's classic. Shazia, you watched it for schoolwork, did you?
I watched it at TAFE
At TAFE. Why did you watch it at TAFE?
because our English teacher, obviously, she was only teaching English, and we were there to learn English, and she was very excited about this movie and say that you will learn English very well if you watch this movie. So she broke it down, I think, in a 3-day thing, and then we watched it, and I could not understand a word.
They're watching it to learn English. That's hilarious.
You get a real ochre accent after it, like, hey, darl.
Straight to the pool.
Yeah.
That's so funny, TAFE. What a great TAFE teacher. I love that.
not really, because she didn't
Understand it.
understand a word. Jackie.
Wrap us up.
Hi. I haven't seen it, no.
Okay, well, you sound young too.
How old are you?
I was born in 96.
Do you want to see it now after hearing some of the quotes? Have you heard the quotes?
Well, I hadn't heard of it. I'd not heard of this movie at all until a couple months ago when people at work started quoting it, and I was so confused. And they've been telling me to watch it, and I still haven't, but maybe I have to now.
Yeah, give it a go.
You've got to see it.
You've got to look. It's on that level, just as far as cinema. It's on that. It's like, I'd say this Crocodile Dundee sits high and mighty. Then you got Muriel's Wedding, Priscilla Queen of the Desert,
Yeah, the Castle.
Chopper.
Definitely, yes.
Like it's one of those ones. Just say when you're at some bogan dinner party, you know what people are talking
yeah,
about.
just a cultural
Well,
reference.
I watched Tim and Pack to the Rafters.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Back to the
There you go.
Rafters.
He's in that.
Who's in
Yeah.
that?
But it has,
Isn't he in that?
Daryl
Carol Kerrigan's in
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Caton.
Oh, is he?
I rang Levi, my boy, during the song and said to him, Levi, have you ever seen The Castle? And he went, yeah. Oh, well, I watched the first episode and I didn't watch the show. And I went, it's not a series, you idiot. It's a film. So he hasn't watched it either.
Nah.
I'm going to make my kids watch it.
Well, it is on
Homework.
Stan, so if you're like me, you've never seen it.
Yep.
Yep.
Maybe
Check
we'll
it
give
out.
it a go.
Ash, Luttsy and Susie O'Neill. The best bits.